Welcome to this episode of Firearms Friday, coming to you from the Wyoming State Museum here in Cheyenne. My name's Evan Green. I'm the firearms historian for the museum and have, over the past several years, been working with the staff to update the inventory on the firearms in the museum's permanent collection, doing some research on individual firearms, chasing stories, and making these videos, which I enjoy doing. I hope you enjoy watching them. So what do we have here today? This is a Smith & Wesson revolver. It is a number 3 model and is known as the old model Russian because it is chambered in the .44 Russian cartridge. Now this externally is identical to the American number 3, which was chambered in a less powerful but still .44 caliber cartridge. So this was actually the first cartridge revolver that was adopted by the United States military for issue to its troops. The Ordnance Department bought 1,000 of these in the American model in 1970, so they predated the adoption of the Colt Single Action Army by 3 years. The Colt was adopted in 1873. This is what's called a top break model because to operate it, you release this latch and open the action so that it ejects all of the cartridges simultaneously. And whether that is an advantage or not is up to the user, because it not only removes the empties, it also lifts out any remaining still live cartridges. So eventually that retracts into the cylinder, and at that point you can load it with fresh rounds, close it, and you're ready to go with 6 fresh rounds of .44 caliber cartridges. I'm not usually a fan of long-barreled revolvers. I'm 5'7" on a good day, and my second centerfire revolver when I was growing up on the ranch out in eastern Colorado was a Ruger Blackhawk 357 Magnum revolver with a 6.5-inch barrel. I traded in a Smith & Wesson 38 Special with a 4-inch barrel, and I was looking for something that would have a little bit more oomph for jackrabbits and coyotes, and the 357 Magnum certainly had that. But with that 6.5-inch barrel, it was awkward, getting in and out of a pickup truck, often on a horse. It was just, I didn't carry it as much as I had carried that 4-inch barrel Smith & Wesson revolver. This one has an 8-inch barrel. And like I say, I'm not usually a fan of long-barreled revolvers for personal use, but there was something about this one that really spoke to me. I really like the lines and the way it looks and the way it handles. So again, about 1,000 of these purchased for use by the military. There were varying reviews of them. Some people didn't like them. So here's my guy, right? This is a 7th Cavalry Captain Robert H. Young wrote to the factory. I have been using your 8-inch 6-shooters, new model, caliber .44. It is a splendid pistol. But on the saddle, the barrel is a little long for the belt holster. When a person is mounted, punches against the horse's back and saddle. I only want a pistol for very close quarters, say not more than 10 yards distance. So he had the same problem with long barrels that I did. So again, they were also got a bad rap for being somewhat fragile and going out of order because the mechanism was somewhat more complex than the Single Action Army. I just mentioned to Dean that I had an old cheap replica of Single Action Army revolver that broke the handspring. I could fashion another one out of a steel hairpin that's worked for the last 20 years. So the Single Action Army somewhat more reliable, easier to repair in the field, not as likely to go out of order as the equivalent Smith & Wessons. But the Russians really liked this particular style of revolver. There was a later model that had some modifications required or suggested, ordered by the Russian military, somewhat shorter barrel, and it had a extra loop on this trigger guard that you could either put your other finger in, or maybe it would keep it from falling out of your sash. You could hook that on your belt or your sash if you were carrying it. So again, this is a 44 Russian. It's in really, really good condition. I don't recall exactly when it was manufactured, but it's been kicking around for 150 years and is in really fine shape. Functions, still a lot of the original blue left on it. So Smith & Wesson, number 3 Russian. If you have questions or comments, put them in the section below or give us a shout out at the museum. Phone call or stop by. We're glad to chat with you about firearms or artifacts or Wyoming history. So thanks for watching.